Good morning children. Today we will discuss about history of classification. So you learn what is the meaning of classification. So a systematic study of living organisms on the basis of some characters, maybe similar characters or dissimilar characters. So that one we call it as a classification. So in today's class, how that classification has been started. So in our country till 2nd and 3rd centuries, the classification of organisms, especially plants, how it was done means on the basis of medicinal value or medical value. So for the first time, Charak and Sushruth, they have classified plants on the basis of medicinal value. Then later to these two scientists of our country, Parasar, he wrote a book called Vriksha Ayurveda. In this book, he explained about the plants which are growing on land plants. So he has taken into consideration flower as the basis for classification. So Charak and Sushruth, they have taken medical importance. So we know that so many medicines are Ayurvedic medicines we are going to get from the plant products only. So Charak and Sushruth, they have taken medicinal value of the plants. So Parasar, he wrote a book, Vriksha Ayurveda. In this book, he has taken flower as the basis of a classification. In 16th and 17th centuries, biologists, they were not taking into consideration that similarities and dissimilarities. They were searching for other kind of basis for classification, that evolutionary mechanism. Okay, so that vast biodiversity. So we know that so many kinds of organisms are there. How that biodiversity is helping them to classify the organisms. In 1758, Carl Linnaeus classified the living organisms based on the similarities and dissimilarities only, and this classification was accepted all over the world for a period of time, long period of time, and he classified the living organisms on similar and dissimilar characters, giving each and every organism with two names. So in this two names, so two words will be there. So what are those two words going to make you to understand? That is a genus, one word genus, and other one species. So each and, for example, if you take a human being's scientific name, if we take Homo sapiens. So first word is going to represent the genus and second word is going to represent the species. So like that, each and every organism in this world is given with names having two words, genus and species. So as I said, Linnaeus gave the organisms two names. That one we call it as binomial nomenclature. Where two words will be there in each and every name given to the organisms. So that one also is because of similarities and dissimilarities by him. So and that genera, plural of genus, genera, he divided that genera into families into order, order into classes, then phyla, finally kingdom. So genera, different groups of organisms. So they are divided into families, families into orders, orders into class, then it is divided into phyla, phyla into kingdom. So according to him, he divided all the organisms into two kingdoms. So what are those two kingdoms? One is Plantae and other one is Animalia. Means what? He grouped all the plants in one group and all the animals in another group. Linnaeus classification was accepted for many centuries. Later, in 1969, Whittaker proposed a 5-kingdom classification. So in that, he has taken into consideration even microorganisms also. So what are those groups? First, so in 1969, Whittaker, he proposed a 5-kingdom classification. Where Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi and Animalia. This table is going to make you to understand about the classification given by the different scientists. Linnaeus in 1735, Haeckel in 1866, Chatham 1925, Copeland 1938, Whittaker 1969, Occitel 1990, Kabler and Smith 1998. So here Linnaeus, I said that Linnaeus was the first scientist to classify the living organisms in, and he gave binomial nomenclature. So he divided all the groups of organisms into two kingdoms, Vegetabilia and Animalia. So Vegetabilia, it is going to explain you about the plants. Animalia is going to explain you about animals. So here I mentioned not treated. What not treated means? The microscopic organisms were not taken into consideration here. Then Haeckel divided organisms into 3 kingdoms, Protista. So he has taken here the microorganisms. Okay. Then Plantae and Animalia. All plants, all animals in separate groups. Then Chatham, he has divided the groups of organisms into 2 empires depending upon the presence or absence of nucleus in the organisms. If nucleus is not there, no nucleus, prokaryotes. So all the organisms which does not have nucleus, they are kept in one group, prokaryota, and the nucleus, if it is present, nucleus, if it is there, they are kept in the eukaryota. Then, so Copeland, 4 kingdoms he made. Still further development we can observe. Monera and Protista, Plantae and Animalia. So these 2 are microorganisms only. Monerans, they do not have nucleus, and here nucleus is there, and some other points are taken into consideration. Plantae, Animalia. So now Whittaker's classification is an advanced classification. You are going to learn that 5 kingdoms were given by Whittaker, Monera. So here all the primitive bacteria will come under that Protista. So then Plantae, Fungi and Animalia. So now Monera, Protista, Fungi. So most of these members are microscopic in nature and diverse in nature. So they have given very much importance here to classify into 5 kingdoms by Whittaker. Then in 1990, Occitel, he divided them into 3 domains, that is bacteria, archaea, eukarya, like depending upon the presence or absence of nucleus only. Then Kabler Smith in 1998, 6 kingdoms. So bacteria, protozoa, chromista, fungi. So bacteria, protozoa, chromista. So why it is made like 6 kingdoms? So the microbiologists, they were not accepting what that classification has been done earlier. Why? Because the existence of very much microscopic organisms came into biodiversity is there in that, and so many million species of organisms are there. So later Whittaker's classification was further studied. So like bacteria, protozoa, chromista, fungi, plant and animalia. Is it clear to children? So like that here 6 kingdoms classification was given by Kavler Smith. Microbiologists, they were very much interested to know that the bacteria or other microscopic organisms, some are having nucleus and some does not have nucleus. So if nucleus is there, we know they are called as eukaryotes, and if nucleus is not there, they are called as prokaryotes, and unicellular and multicellular. Even that microscopic organisms also single-celled organisms and multicellular organisms. And some are able to live in high or extreme conditions, cold conditions, hot conditions, or in the body of other organisms, like that they are living. So microbial world made the classification in a different way. Is it clear to children? After many years the research work carried out, then they came to know that genetic material is also present, that is DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid. So that is life of living organisms, and afterwards how that genetic material is present, where it is present, that is in the cytoplasm or it is present inside the nucleus. Like bacteria, if we take, for example, bacteria if we take, it is present, genetic material is present inside the cytoplasm. Suppose in first lesson you learned, so nucleus structure if we observe in the plant cell or animal cell, we are going to observe threadwork like structure inside that nucleus. So membrane bound nucleus contains DNA. So that character is also taken into consideration for the classification. Embryonic conditions of all the living organisms, if we observe, we are looking alike, means embryos if we observe, they are looking alike. So what they are going to make us to understand means all the living organisms have been evolved from a common ancestor. What is that means? Last universal common ancestor yuga. Cell, that is last universal common ancestor. LUCE. So what it is going to make us to understand, we are all evolved from last universal common ancestor yuga, and it is dividing all the organisms into 3 domains, that is archaea, the bacteria, and the classification is done dividing organisms into 3 domains, that is prokaryota, eukaryota, and archaea. So all these are the major categories with more and more dissimilar characters and less similar characters. So now hierarchy of classification, if we observe life, so all living organisms will come under this, and domains. So here prokaryota, eukaryota and archaea. So each domain is divided into kingdoms, many kingdoms. Kingdoms are divided into phyla, then classes, order, families, genus and species. So genus, species means a group of living organisms which are having more and more similar characters. We observe more and more similar characters and which can interbreed with each other. So that group of organisms will be kept in a species. For example, you are observing different varieties of mango plants. Is it clear to you? So these mango plants, whichever we are observing, they can interbreed with each other and new species again we can produce. Means group of organisms with more and more similar characters we are going to observe, and they can interbreed with each other. Means they can take part in reproduction and new organisms we can produce. So that group of organisms are kept in species. Is it clear to you? That group of living organisms with less similar characters and more dissimilar characters where they cannot interbreed with each other. For example, mango plant, if you take, and that mango plant, if you want to interbreed with the coconut tree, like that, it is not possible. Totally they are different. Is it clear to children? So please make a note of these two. Genus means group of living organisms with less similar characters and more dissimilar characters where they cannot interbreed with each other. Species means group of organisms with more and more similar characters and less dissimilar characters. So just now I have given an example where they can interbreed with each other. That one it is called a species. For example, animals, if you take more and more similar characters we can observe between lion, tiger, cat. Is it clear to you? Suppose if we compare cat with dog, no, it is not possible. So genus means group of living organisms with more and more dissimilar characters and less similar characters. For example, if we observe cow and lion, earlier I explained dog and cat. So both are animals only, but more and more dissimilar characters we are observing. So they are separate genus. So genus means group of living organisms with more dissimilar characters and less similar characters. So we cannot get new species of animals like if dog and cow, if they are interbreeding, it is not possible. Whereas in species it is possible. So in tomorrow's class we are going to discuss about Whittaker's classification, where the organisms are divided into 5 groups: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Each and every character with examples we will discuss.